Hey everyone, Ilham here, and today I'll be taking a quick look at Fedora's latest version, Fedora 43. In this video, I'll run through a quick EFI installation and the basics of Fedora and a virtual machine. So let me create a virtual machine and I'll be right back. So I created a virtual machine, and as you can see, we're about to boot up the live environment. So I'll be right back after it's done booting into the live environment. And I've booted into the live environment, which is using the GNOME desktop environment. Before I do anything, let me just quickly adjust my display resolution. Alright, click install Fedora Linux. It's gonna take about like 30-ish seconds to open, which is kind of the usual for Fedora. As you can see, it's loading. Alright, so language. The English, and keyboard is obviously English United States for me. Obviously, it depends on whatever yours is, like your language or your keyboard. Next would be destination. So this section basically makes you choose what disk you want to install Fedora onto. In the past, it used to be very confusing, but ever since Fedora 42, I think, this section has gotten a lot less confusing. You can, of course, choose if you'd like to manually partition or not, but for this video, I'll let it partition for me automatically. The next section is storage configuration. As it says, is for encryption, if you want to encrypt your drive or not, but for this video, I'll leave that out. I'll probably include it in another video. The last but not least is the review and install section, which, as we can see, is giving us a brief summary of how it partitioned everything and whatnot. And by default, Fedora uses the Btrfs file system instead of extended for the home and the root partitions, which are in the same partition, and it gave the boot drive about 2.15 gigs and about 629.30 megs for the EFI drive. Alright, now let's click erase and install. And depending on your hardware, it'll take you about from like 3 to 10 minutes. So I'll be right back once Fedora has finished installing. And that portion of the installation has been completed, and I rebooted the virtual machine. Now, we're greeted with the welcome screen asking us to select our language for the machine itself. But if you remember, it asked us for the language in the installer too. Well, that's just the installer language, as there may be cases where a non-English speaking person is using the installer to install the OS for an English speaking person, and vice versa. So obviously English, everything's alright. Privacy, it's asking for location services to allow apps to determine our geographical location, as well as automatic problem reporting. So I'll turn off location services for privacy reasons, but I'll keep this on if it helps the Fedora developers one way or the other. Next is time zone. So for me, I'll search New York, as it's the Eastern time zone. It's the closest for me. New York City. Alright, come on. There we go. Next, enable third-party repositories. So, enabling this will be useful for software that's typically not available in the regular repositories, so I'll enable them. However, one thing to note, that there will come up a section in this video where you'll see that the third-party repositories are not as useful because you may have to install another. Stay tuned for that. Next. Now let's create our system user. So, Z and password. Next, username and password. So password. Next, and now we can start using Fedora. First things first, let me fix the display resolution. So hit super key, which, if you did not know, is your Windows key by default. And displays, obviously it's not going to have my native display for some reason, resolution, so I'll work on that for the next video. But it does have 2048 by 1152, so that'll work for today. Okay, so first impressions. the installer was straightforward and easy to use, and isn't Fedora gorgeous by default? Man, the wallpaper in my opinion is really nice. Alright, now let's take a look at the default applications that are installed. As you can see, we got document scanner, contacts, clocks, GNOME maps. It's very, very GNOME friendly because, well, yeah, Fedora is running on GNOME. And we can see that the LibreOffice suite is also installed by default, so let's check them out. First, let's open the word processing software, LibreOffice Writer. As you can see, very nice, very clean layout, very user-friendly. Next, let's check out Calc, which is basically the spreadsheet software. As you can see, very user-friendly especially if you're migrating from Windows and you used Microsoft Office all your life. As you can see, it's very nice. And last but not least, let's check out Impress, which is the slideshow, so basically presentation software. And let's say whatever theme, this one, sure. As you can see, it's very, very well made, very nice. And yeah, so that's your default LibreOffice suite application. Now let's check out these apps. So as you can see, the GNOME Boxes program is installed by default. And what that is, it's basically a virtual machine program that comes with Fedora by default. Like Fert Manager, it also uses QEMU, as you remember from my last video if you watched it. Overall, a very default suite of applications are installed. Now let's take a look at the terminal. GNOME terminal is installed by default. And let's check out what kernel Fedora is running. So it's running the latest kernel, 6.17. And now let's say we want to check out the package manager. So if you didn't know, Fedora uses DNF by default. Well, yeah, Fedora's package manager is DNF. So let's say we want to install fastfetch, which is a system fetch tool. Basically, you know, you get to see your system specifications. So let's run sudo dnf install fastfetch and then -y at the end, which just means yes. Type your password in. And it should take about a few seconds here and there. Shouldn't take too long. And done. Let's clear and run fastfetch. As you can see, it's nice, it's easy, it's simple. Now, to get a list of all the packages installed on your system, run rpm-qa and it generates all the lines. To look for a very specific package, like for example, we want to look for a bash, just run this, the same command as before, but add grep and then bash. And as you can see, it gives you the exact package that you want as well as the version number. And now, if you want to see how many packages are installed, run the same command, but instead type wc, which means word count, and then -l, which will count the number of lines which are representing your packages. So in our case, it's 1981. Nice. Now, remember the third-party repository switch we did earlier? They in fact do not give us everything we want. So we need to add two other repositories called RPM Fusion. They're split into the free and non-free repos because the free one mostly has open source packages that Fedora did not include for some reason. Meanwhile, the non-free consists of, well, closed source packages. Fusion will be updated in unison with Fedora automatically, so you do not have to update anything, and you won't even notice it happening. So to install it, let's run this command. So let's go back to the terminal, paste that, and I'll obviously link everything in the description down below, and -y at the end. Type your password in, and I'll be right back once it's done installing. Alright, so it took a bit longer than necessary because do not add -y at the end. That was my fault. But the next command we would like to run is this. Sudo dnf config manager. Basically, it's just going, you want to use the OpenH264 library. So let's enable that. And that was very quick. Now that everything is, installed, let's refresh our package manager by running sudo dnf update, actually, -- refresh. Sweet. And obviously, everything is available in RPM Fusion's website if you need further assistance outside of this video. It shall be linked in the description down below. Now, what does RPM Fusion give you exactly? As we wait for this to finish refreshing, let's check it out. So let's open the website, admin.rpmfusion.org/pkgdb. That's their package database, which I'll link in the description down below. It packages, and as you can see, all their packages, that there are 654 packages in RPM Fusion. So as you can see, even Discord is on there. And let's say we want to look for a specific package like Steam. As you can see, boom, opened right up. So if we go back to the terminal, had a curl error. 1 second, let me resolve this. Alright, I resolved that. It was just a quick network issue on my part. So going back to the example, we want to install Steam. Sudo dnf install Steam. And just hit Y, and it'll take a few minutes depending on your network connection. And just like that, Steam has been installed. Refer to this website if you want to look for any specific packages that you may need and do not know exactly how they're named. As usual, link will be in the description down below. Another thing worth to mention is Fedora QuickDocs. They're very well written and are a good reference to the basics and even release upgrades. Link will be in the description down below. Just to check if Steam properly installed, it's right there, as you can see. Okay, now let's see what display server GNOME is running right now. So run echo $xdg _session_type, and it's running Wayland. So Fedora no longer comes with X11 or Xorg, whatever you call it, by default. It only comes with Wayland. And you'll notice that in the display/login manager when you want to change your display server. Now let's check out the basic themes. So display settings. And we want to check out appearance. Dark mode, obviously that's the best mode. And the wallpapers, accent color, so we can change the default colors that are on Fedora. Default. So anyways, so let's check out this wallpaper. It's a very default suite of wallpapers, and as you can see, they're reactive to the theme that you're running. Yeah, overall decent suite of backgrounds. Not bad, not bad. But obviously my favorite is this one, the rocket ship. Yeah, overall it's very nice, very clean, very aesthetically pleasing. And yeah, that's basically it for Fedora's newest version. First impressions are great, runs decent on a virtual machine, and I'm confident it will run smooth on your distro. I mean, on your hardware. Sorry, my fault. It's very polished and looks very clean. The installer is great and easy to use, and hopefully you found the video useful. If you did, Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss um, future Linux or FOSS content, free and open source software. And if you have any other questions, be sure to join the Discord server. Link should be in the description. And comment or just comment down below. Otherwise, have a lovely rest of your day.